Hi, everyone, and welcome to the final purpose guiding session with Amanda. We've just wrapped up 4 lovely months together, and I'm going to do a little recap about what occurred. So, Amanda, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. And thank you for sharing your story with all the people out there who are thinking about deepening a life's purpose. I'm really grateful.
Of course.
So let me ask you, why did you want to do this work? What had you say, yeah, I want to invest 4 months of my hard-earned money, time, and energy into deepening my life's purpose?
Well, I was really, really unhappy with my job. Very, very unhappy for a long time, for like 3 to 4 years, and just really feeling like I wanted to find what can I do that makes me happy, that's contributing, that's, just feels right, and that isn't like such a drag to go to work every day.
Awesome. And in the process of this work, it's often referred to as like kind of pulling a thread on a sweater. And so even though like the one sticking out was like the work thread,
Yes.
at the end, if you keep pulling, the whole thing's going to come unraveled, right?
That sounds about right.
And so just curious, like, what else did you discover that you wanted or that wasn't working for you as this process kind of continued?
Yes, a lot of things. That's a really good metaphor, the sweater and the string, because that's basically what happened. I mean, it's like my job changed. I realized that I wasn't happy in my relationship. So now I'm getting divorced, and it's okay. It's actually a good thing. And like, I've also started making new friends and have like the spiritual community that I'm now a part of. I was just really missing that in my life as well. So like all these different things started changing and kind of coming together, kind of all at the same time, and kind of like all connected in a weird way, just like the sweater.
I mean, I remember just like being, just kind of blown away early. How you're like, oh yeah, and by the way, my marriage doesn't work. I tend to isolate and not reach out to my friends and family.
Yeah.
And I'm always doubting my decisions. And like
that's a good point. Yeah. So definitely also like I've noticed more decisiveness, more like it's almost like I can hear, like everyone talks about like, oh, listen to your gut, follow your gut or follow your heart, that kind of thing. Like I feel like I've never been able to do that until recently. Like I'm starting to learn how to do it. So it's still kind of like a new experience, but it's growing. And then also, like, I feel like my relationships, like I've gotten all these new relationships, all these new friendships and these communities that I'm a part of now, which is awesome. And then the relationships that I already had also seem to be kind of like deepening. The conversations are more meaningful with, my mom or even my dad, everybody, which is really good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great. So let's dive into some of the specifics here, because I mean, you're the velocity with which you began to metabolize purpose and take purpose line action was really uncommon. I mean, just to give some background context, I mean, most folks, they start to get clear about midway. They're like, I want to make a big change. And it's a big change meaning like, I want to apply to a new job, or I'm ready to like start dating again, or I feel like, I want to begin to have the best body of my life, or I want to, explore this new healing modality or this new way of transforming people, or this new, it's like these authentic purpose-driven ruminations begin like in the middle, and it's a month to 6 months after until like the actual shift occurs in just one area. And you decided to not listen to any of my advice to like slow down. I know. This is gonna go. We're creating this. We're creating that. I'm reaching out. And so I think, your path is really a gift. It's like you've shined a light on what is really possible and how rapidly purpose can manifest. So let's dive in.
Okay.
So how has purpose showed up in your career, or what has it allowed you to do?
Yeah. Well, so first I quit my job, and at first I took like a month off of work, which was great that I was able to do that. And then during that time I found another job, which is school nursing, which I don't think is my long-term job, but for right now it's like a really good fit. And it's something I was too afraid to do before. I had thought about it, but I was too afraid because it's a huge cut in pay. And it just seemed like kind of a step back. But through doing the purpose work, I kind of like, I don't know, came to a realization that it's actually a really good stepping stone because it gives me a lot of time off, which gives me time to figure out kind of what the next move is going to be. And it's so much less stress that I can like think and just take care of myself, like health wise and spiritually. And that kind of allows, doors to open, other possibilities to show up. And so I've been kind of watching that happen.
Awesome. That's great. Yeah. The leave, the job search and the quitting and then starting the new job was like, there's like, pop, 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 pop. Like, I was like starting to doubt my own sanity. Like we just talked last week, right? Like she just said she was going to leave. Now she got a new job. Like put her in a time machine. Did something happen?
Yeah, it was like the timing of everything just kind of, came together. Yeah.
Now let's talk about romance. Let's talk about your relationship that you're ending and what's new in that realm.
Yeah. So that's been probably the most difficult thing is because, so I've been married for a year and a half, but we've been together for like 7.5 years. And, we're like best friends, but it's not what I realized through doing the work is that like, there's this whole part of the relationship that's missing that I thought I was okay with. And then kind of like through doing the work, I started to like really realize like what's important to me and like, start to hear that voice inside that I couldn't hear before and, to see other possibilities. And so it's been really hard to take the steps to end the marriage. But I mean, both of us agree it's like, it feels right. It's really hard to do because we've lived together so long and we're best friends. But, it kind of like it's making room for something else in the future. When that will be, I don't know, but that's okay. So,
yeah. I think it's quite a testament to your ability to make decisions.
Yes.
There's a quote from Seinfeld: relationships are like a soda machine. You got to rock them back and forth before they fall over.
Yeah.
And that didn't seem to take very long. That seemed like between the time you said I might want to get a divorce to the time you're like, we had the discussion. Wow, it was like a month.
Yeah.
I mean, boom.
Yeah. It does. It seems like it happened fast, but then also it's like the past 3 to 4 years, like I've kind of had this, like what I'm realizing now is like that voice was there, but that still small voice, but I wasn't listening to it. And then doing this really let me like listen to it because I always was doubting it. Like, no, well, it's okay. And then now it's like, no, I think what I have to do. And it's not easy, but it seems right.
Yeah. Amen. Now I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit here.
Okay.
You also, in my judgment, demonstrated some really remarkable confidence in this area.
Oh gosh.
Expressing your feelings.
Oh no.
Do you feel comfortable sharing about that?
Maybe. A little bit.
A little bit. Just whatever you're comfortable sharing.
Okay.
So what'd you do?
Yeah, well, that's kind of embarrassing too, though. But well, yeah, I've just been more confident in like kind of expressing my feelings for one person in particular. And I mean, nothing's gonna happen of it, but just the fact that I was able to like be really kind of bold and say like, basically tell them how I feel. It's, kind of a big deal, especially for me. So, it's okay. Even though it didn't have the result that I wanted, it's like just being able to like say what's true for me.
Amen.
And just kind of like put that out there is like kind of empowering,
Yeah. I mean, now you know yourself as a woman who can declare what she wants.
That's true.
and like, your center, this kind of purpose-driven core of who you are, it didn't work out the way you wanted it to, but like, you can stand on that foundation. Like, your psychological well-being and love of self isn't contingent on anybody's approval. Like,
that's definitely true. And I've been learning that. I've been really kind of learning that lately.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's a good thing.
Now what's available now, it's like you have this whole future that you can just like, I want that.
Yeah.
I want that. Will you give it to me? Okay. Oh, great. Good. Oh, no. Okay. All right. I want that now. Hey, can I have that? No. Okay. How about this? You can literally do this request for your life.
Right.
Whereas like, without that certainty, like you might have like said like, oh geez, that would be dreamy, and never done anything about it.
Yeah. And then you just wonder,
Right.
I wonder what would now. Well, I know, it's okay. It didn't go how I wanted, but I know I could do that.
Yeah. Bingo. Awesome. So let's move into health. Has anything shifted for you with regard to your health?
So that's kind of been, that's actually how really the whole purpose thing got started for me. Is I started by wanting to, deal with some health issues that I was having. And so then of course I started acupuncture, and then of course he told me about you, and it's kind of all like linked together in this interesting way. And, so like, as I've been doing the acupuncture and then doing the purpose work, my health's been improving. I still have, things to work on and all that, but, I'm more active in it, like more active in, making the changes instead of just, I don't know, like wanting to take a pill or something like that, exercising more is good and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's all kind of tied in.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's something I find very frequently amongst clients, is that very rarely is the only thing that's not working in their life their lack of connection to purpose. It's and oftentimes I would say 8 out of 10 times folks are coming into purpose discovery work with a health issue. The body has said, do something different. Like, It isn't working for us. Like there's like this somatic wisdom that says, we actually need you to like generate. We need you to start like living the reason why you're here. Like, I'm not just a pleasure machine. Like, you need to like be the person you're meant to be here. And so the body often starts to give us these subtle clues, and then more overt clues. And then finally, if we're really not paying attention, like some kind of life-threatening condition.
Yeah. Like, I should actually add in there, like, for me, it hasn't even been so much like physical exactly. It's been more like the emotional, like the anxiety and depression part, because that's something that I've dealt with since I can, basically 14, I would say. And that's like improved. I mean, it's crazy how much that's improved, like since I started the purpose work. Like, I mean, you wouldn't believe it. Like I was taking like antidepressants and anti-anxiety medications for years. I mean, basically since 19. I'm not taking anything now. Like, I was able to, safely come off of the medications, and I probably never needed them to begin with, but it's just like, it's all worked together. And so like now I'm not taking any medication, like none at all, no medication. And like, I'm the happiest I've ever been. I mean, sure, there's like, I'm going through some hard stuff and there's sadness, but that's like normal,
Yeah.
And so I'm not like in this like depressed, like anxious, state that I used to just felt like that was me. And now I'm seeing like, no, that's not who I am. Like, and so that's been like the coolest part.
Yeah. Amen. I mean, your experience of life is just different.
Yeah, exactly.
If I can just reflect what I've seen, there's just a plumb line. Like there's just like this center of gravity that's there now. And it seems that there's like a courage that's part of that too. Like, yeah, I can look at missing my ex-husband. I can look at, things in my life that don't work well and not have to like go inside of some kind of depressive identity. Like, oh, it's sad. What with me? This isn't working.
Exactly.
Which is not to discount it, but like, you now have the power to achieve escape velocity from that thought pattern, because it keeps coming up, right? I mean, you're
oh yeah,
so like, I miss him.
Yeah.
I want this.
Yeah.
Now it's like, well, and
exactly.
Now I can do this. I can go sit in my Sangha. I can go call my girlfriend. I can go for a hike in the hills. There's a gazillion things that are now at your fingertips that the depressive identity or the depressive kind of pattern would have otherwise.
Yeah. Exactly. So
great. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, that's very exciting.
Yeah. Awesome. So we've covered your career, we've covered your love life, we've covered your health. Now, how about your finances, your community, or your spirituality? Has anything shifted in those areas?
Well, yes, in all of those areas. It's just like everything's changed. Mm-hmm. I mean, like really, like it's funny if you look at my life, like if you rewind until like December of last year, it's like you wouldn't basically recognize me, except I look about the same, but it's like almost completely different life. So I don't know. And it's hard to pick like which one of these things that's changed is like the best, because they're all like, they're all tied in together and they're all like really powerful. So like the spirituality thing is really, really a big one for me right now. Like through doing all of this, things just kind of happen. It's like, I don't even know how they're happening, but like I ended up, finding like Adyashanti, who I had no idea of, this guy who lives in San Jose, and like I've never heard of him before, and like, oh my God, like I'm just in love. Like I've never felt before like I had like a spiritual teacher, and like now I do. And it's like that whole saying, like when the student is ready, the teacher shows up, or whatever, however that saying goes, like I'm like, I get that saying. And so then like through there, like then I found these 2 different meditation groups that now I'm like a part of. And like, so that's, I'm going there like once a week, making these friends there who it's like people who are, into the same things I am. And we're going on hikes together and like going having lunch and just like, so I'm like getting this whole new like spiritual community, which is just like, really like, I feel like it's like, but it's like someone set this all up. Like, okay, this is going to happen. And then you're going to meet them. And I'm like, who the heck, like who did this?
Thank you.
Yeah. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's great. Yeah. So community and spirituality kind of like wove themselves together, and now they're here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
Like a big part, I would say. It's like these people are becoming like very quickly, like my really good friends.
Wow.
Very quickly. In like, like a month. Like, wow. Like there's so much to like, bond about really quick on a deep level that it's just like, before you know it, it's like you're talking on the phone, you're emailing, you're going out for walks, and like, what's going on here?
That's awesome. My experience, in my own journey and also with other clients is that like purpose ends up kind of turning your radio from a broadcast to a narrowcast. It just says like, I only want to, like, I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but like, I want to hang out with you if you're into X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Or if you are the type of person who values A, B, and C.
Yeah. Yeah. That's very true. So it's like the people that are like being attracted into my life are now more like into the things I want to do, like, exercising and just being healthy and like eating well and things like that. So that's cool.
That's wonderful. Now, how about in your family or your finances? Anything developed?
Yeah. So for the finances, I would say like that's a really interesting one, because I was making like quite a, good salary And then I quit that job, of course, and my salary got like cut in half, which is why I was so scared to like do that. And like I said, I had thought about it before, like probably about a year ago, I had thought about making that switch because I knew the school nurse job would give me so much more time and that sort of thing, less stress. But this gave me like the courage to just like do it without knowing exactly how it's going to work out. And, you know, I am making half the amount of money, but I had some money that's been saved that I'm able to use. So that's helping me. And then, you know, I don't know exactly how things are going to work out, but it's just kind of like I'm building up like this faith or something like that. Like just kind of this trust that it seems to be, I mean, like I said, all these things, it's like someone planned it and set it up like this is going to happen. So I'm like, all right, well, I don't know what's going to happen next, but it seems to be everything's working out like just as it should. So I'm not going to worry about it too much. Like right now I've got plenty of money to get by until I figure out whatever's next. So yeah. So it's interesting.
and some of the things that surfaced around vision for you, and some of the images that came up.
Yeah.
In your purpose work. And I'm not going to speak for you, so if you want to share that, you're welcome to. But had this kind of sense that there is a new modality. Yes, your nursing is going to be very much a part of your training, your tradition, and your credibility. But it also seems like with the training you've got coming up, and with some of these deeper images around the vision that you have, that it seems like there is like this kind of growth phase right now.
Yeah.
And would you mind sharing anything that came up for you vision wise, or talk about this training you're embarking on?
Yeah. So, I mean, the big kind of theme that kept coming up over and over again is like some type of like healing. Like, I don't know, like I kept seeing images of hands kept coming up, which is interesting. And then also the whole time I've been doing the purpose work, I've been having Rosen body work done on me, which has been like incredibly helpful. Again, it's like all tied in and like connected and what's going on. And so there's an intensive training coming up for that next week, which I just... Rosen, yeah, which I got like a real strong feeling like I need to do it. And I don't know if that means like I'm going to end up doing that eventually, or I don't know, but I'm just going to like follow it. Right now it's telling me to do that. So I'm going to do it and then see what happens from there.
Wow. That's
so
great.
it's like I'm not like making like these huge, 10-year plans like I like to do. I'm just kind of like letting it unfold on its own. And maybe it's just that I do this one intensive and I get something out of that, and that shows me the next step, or maybe the next step is to continue the trainings. I don't know. I'll find out.
You will find out.
I'll find out. Yeah.
I was wondering if you could share just a little bit about what your favorite exercises or experiences were during our work together.
Sure. So the favorite one was the Soul Quest. That one was just really, really, really awesome. Like the whole like build up towards it, because it was like, preparing for it for kind of a week. So just like, finding the spot that I was going to do it. Like it just all felt like there was like all this meaning behind it, like finding the spot, thinking about it for the week, and kind of like planning like, what I was going to do when I was there. And then like the day of getting there, like there was just like, I still think about it, all the stuff that happened, like, and just like the feeling of peace that I really had, like after spending that day out there, and just what it was like not talking or emailing for a day. That was actually not as hard as I thought that it would have been. And it was actually very, very peaceful. Yeah.
Wow. That's great.
And I also really liked doing the ego deconstruction, naming all the different parts and then drawing the pictures of them. And because I still have those I can look at to like remind me of those different pieces. Yeah.
And that's kind of like the Trojan horse of purpose work, because like it to get to the place where the aperture, the channel is open enough to kind of start to hear the messages from soul, we've got to do that ego deconstruction piece. And so it serves this very vital purpose in the purpose awakening process. But it's also like this wholly complete thing in and of itself. Like now you have a much more illuminated ego structure, so that when the voices of sadness and resistance and, I don't want to, and this is not going to work and all that kind of stuff come up, you now know which part that comes from, and you can go reopen that discussion. Say, oh, hello, critic. I see that you want me to go to the gym more, and you're upset that I don't fit in these pants. Are there some needs of yours that are not being met right now?
Right.
Hello, image consultant. I see that you're really wanting me to say the right thing right now. Tell me more about that.
Yeah. That's been very helpful.
Yeah. Not only does it it just makes the what comes through from the purpose discovery stuff land much more deeply. There's a deeper empowerment. So as you move forth, you can now continually choose purpose, because you've got this framework to process the voices that don't want you to choose purpose.
Right.
Yeah, I know that. Got it. Okay. I'm still choosing purpose. I'm still I'm still gonna go, I have a walk with this person or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's great. So let me ask you about your purpose project, and what about that inspires you. And
so I feel like I have multiple purpose projects. Well, two. I feel like there's two for me, really. We ended up coming up with the list of 3, but I think that there's 2 that I really want to do. And the first one is kind of a shorter one, just really that one's kind of just for me to kind of get my confidence up with it. And that's just kind of a project for myself and then my friends and maybe my family and that kind of thing. That's just I want to make this book that's it's kind of like a collage book that has sayings in it that are meaningful to me, kind of probably some spiritual type sayings and that sort of thing that helps to kind of remind me of purpose, and then to just kind of be something that motivates me when I look at it. So it's hard to explain exactly what it's going to look like, because I don't really know yet. It's going to kind of just, be an art project that I'll see what happens when I'm done with it. So that's the first thing that I want to do. And then that's, not going to be as large of a project as the next one, which is the one that I really want to do, that I've thought about for many, many years, but now I'm really feeling like I need to do it. And it's writing a memoir about my dad and my childhood. So I'm working up to that.
Amen. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. That's going to be a big gift. Both of those are going to be a big gift to whoever gets to touch them.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about that.
Me too.
Now lastly, do you have any advice for folks who are contemplating doing this kind of work, and are kind of unsure, is this right for them? Is it real? Does it work? I was curious, do you have anything that you would like to offer them?
Yeah. I think if someone's, thinking about doing this type of work, if they're going to put the work in, then there's no way that it can't work. If they're going to be really devoted to it and take the time to do the exercises and to do the readings and to really go through the process, that they're going to definitely discover things that they probably wouldn't imagine. And, things will definitely change. And, I think it's definitely real, and it's as real as you're willing to let it be, I think. So, definitely very powerful, and much more powerful than just if I were to say read the book by myself. Because actually we didn't actually just read through the book start to finish. We kind of we did different things, and there's all these exercises, and I don't know, it's just a lot harder to be self-motivated to, even if I were to read that book myself, it wouldn't be anything like, you know, doing the whole process with you, like having you there, like having the weekly like discussions and support, and knowing that, you know, I'm going to have that. And it just kind of like keeps you on track. It's like, oh, I have to have my assignment done. So like, I need to do it, instead of like, if I'm doing it by myself, it's like, oh, you know, yeah. And then weeks go by, months go by, and you just get stuck. So it really just helps to like keep things moving at a pretty good pace. And if you're able to really, you know, put everything that you have into it, then I don't think there's any way that there's not going to be some change at the end.
So, would you recommend purpose discovery work to the people you love?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. If they were, you know, I think maybe some people aren't interested in it, but for someone who's of that mindset, then yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I have to some of my friends, you know.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Another question for you. What about our sessions together did you find valuable?
I mean, the whole thing, you know, it's like just knowing like every week, like I have that on my calendar, like, all right, like I'm going to check in, you know, and it was always kind of like, I never knew what we were going to do. You know, it was never like the same every time. It was always like a little bit different. Like some things would be the same. Like we'd have the check-in, which I really like the check-ins for, you know, both me, and then also like hearing how you're doing is interesting to me. And then it would be different. Like sometimes we do, you know, visualization, or there'd be some writing project, or it was always different. So kind of like always on your toes, like, oh, what are we going to do? What are we going to do today? You know, which is like, to me, really exciting and just fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Amanda. You were a very willing student. And I think it's, you know, I know that I'm talented and gifted in this way, but I didn't do any of this work. Like you did this work, and you know, you alluded to it before. You get out what you put into it, and you were there every single meeting, right on time. You did all your homework the night before and sent it to me so I could reflect on it. I mean, like you milked this thing. I mean, like you just like wrung every last bit of value that you could get out of this. And the results were like extraordinary. Some of the best results I've ever seen in my career as a guide. I mean, it's like the radical transformation that you were able to produce and confidently create in all these core life areas. I mean, it's truly remarkable. And you are a testament to the possibility of this work. I just want to thank you for loving and believing in yourself to throw yourself into it.
Well, thank you for being there to guide me through it.
My pleasure. It's been an honor, Amanda.
Thank you.